Yarrney.
Hello, welcome back to Yarrney. In this tutorial you will learn how to make this nice herringbone single crochet stitch. I've made this patch here. I'll zoom in a little so you can have a better look. Essentially you can see that the stitches go in two different ways. So in one row the stitches will go like this way, and then another row the stitch goes this way, so it creates this nice type of herringbone design. So let's get started. So we will first start with a slip knot, and then after the slip knot we will basically do chains. So it doesn't matter how many chains you do, so you just simply do enough chains that it is basically the length of the project that you desire. So for this tutorial I won't do too many. I'll do, let's say, 9 chain. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 6, okay, 7 8 and 9. So once you have the desired number of chains, what you're going to do is the first stitch of each row is always going to be a single crochet. Now, one thing I want to point out is that the herringbone stitch works in basically a pair of 2 rows. This means that you will always do row 1 and then a row 2 and then repeat. So row 1, row 2, row 1, row 2. This is what gives the effect of the stitch going this side on one row and this side on the other row. So in the second chain from the hook, you will do a single crochet. So like I mentioned, the first stitch is always a single crochet. Now you see that your single crochet gives you these 2 kind of vertical bars here. You will insert your hook in always the most left vertical bar. So insert your hook under it. Then insert your hook in the next chain. Then wrap the yarn and pull it back through the chain here. Then you have 3 loops on your hook. You wrap the yarn and you pull it through all 3 loops. So this is basically your first herringbone stitch here. Once you've done that, now you notice you have 3 bars, vertical bars. So 1, 2, and 3. So again, using the most left vertical bar here, you insert your hook under it. So like this, and then insert your hook in the next stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn and pull it through all 3 loops. Like this. So then you basically keep going with this concept, always the most left bar, so 1, 2, 3. Do not confuse with this little bar here, that's basically your chain. So this is where you inserted the stitch. You have 3 bars here, this doesn't count. So the most left bar is this third one here. And then insert in the next chain. So again, we just keep doing that until the end of the row, and then I'll tell you how to add the second row. So this stitch does require some patience, and it's not the fastest stitch to work, and sometimes, like as you can see, it's a little difficult to insert your hook under that left side bar. So definitely need your both hands or some fingers to help. Or, you know, maybe it's my tension that is too tight. But once you know how to do this stitch, it's a really beautiful stitch. Okay, so I'm at my last stitch here, so I'll just do my last stitch of the row. So this is your row number 1. Okay, now we're going to do row number 2, but don't forget how you did row number 1, because like I said, after you learn row number 2, it's just a repeat of row 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, so on until you reach the desired size of your project. So at the end of the row, you will chain 1. Then you will turn your project around because we always want to work from the right to the left. Now the herringbone stitch, you will only able to see it on one side of the project. So this side here that we worked is the right side of the project, and the side you will see the herringbone stitch. Now this side here that we just turned will be the wrong side, and you will not be able to see the stitch really. So the row number 2 might be a little tricky, but once you get used to it, you will understand and it will become easier. Basically, we're working from the back side of the stitch towards the front. What I mean is, instead of inserting your hook like usual, like this, what you're going to do is actually take your yarn, pull it to the front here, and then you see the stitch. You insert your hook from this back side going forward here like this. And so, like I said, the first stitch is always a single crochet. So then from the back to the front, you still pull the yarn with your hook, pull it back through the chain, and you see you have 2 loops on your hook. Now you just do your single crochet as usual, just like this. Now again, we're still working, every row 2, we're working on the back side. So now you see you have your 2 bars, and again, we want to insert the hook under the left bar, always the most left bar. So you have the right bar, the left bar. So then insert your hook under this left bar here. Then in the next stitch, which is this one here, you will insert your hook from the back side like this, going towards you, basically like this. Now wrap the yarn around your hook, pull the yarn with your hook back through, and now you have 3 loops on your hook, and you just wrap the yarn around your hook to pull it through all 3 loops, just like this. Again, now you will see you have your 3 bars. So you have the first one here, the second, and the third. And the third one here is the most left side bar. So you insert your hook under the third most left side bar. And again, your next stitch here is this one, right? So you insert it from the back side towards the front. Now you take your yarn, wrap it around your hook, pull it back through the stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. So this is basically how you do row 2. It's like, it's a little awkward, but I promise you, you will get used to it. So again, the most left side bar, insert your hook under it. So this is why I say it definitely requires some patience. And then insert in the next stitch from the back side towards the front here, like this. 3 loops. Right, and then I'll just continue. I'll do it for the entire row slowly so you can understand. So I'm inserting my hook under the most left bar here, and then insert in the next stitch from the back side towards the front. Pull it back, and voila, like this. So again, 3 bars, inserting the hook under the most left bar here, like this. then insert under the next stitch. So I have basically 2 stitches left on row number 2, inserting under the left bar, and then the next stitch. And I'm at my last stitch here, so again insert under the most left bar. So you definitely might want to use, both hands for this stitch. You can't just plow through your stitches as you would usually do. So insert under your next stitch, pull the yarn back, so this is my second row. So I'm going to chain 1 and then turn my project around. So now you see this is the right side of the project, and you see the herringbone starting to form. So this first row here, row number 1 that we did at the bottom is going this side. The second row that we did basically on the reverse side is going like this, which creates the herringbone. And like I mentioned, row number 1, row number 2, it's what you will do constantly, adding more rows until you reach the length of your project. So literally just repeating row 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So then row number 1 is always the row that is, I guess, the easy row because you're working the normal side. And then the first stitch, like I mentioned, always a single crochet, a normal single crochet like this. Then you start your herringbone where you insert your hook under the most left side bar, then the next stitch, pull it back, you have 3 loops, and then you pull it through all 3 loops. Then you have the 3 bars, insert your hook under the most left side bar in the next stitch, pull it back like this. So this is again a repeat of row number 1. So you can see how row number 1 works very quickly because it's the side that we're used to. And then it's always inserting under the most left bar, then the next stitch, then pull through all 3 loops. Once you are comfortable with this, you will get faster, and it's definitely not as hard as it seems, but so this, I'm doing my last stitch here, inserting in my next stitch. So as you can see, I have row 1, 2, and then 1 again. So then chain, turn your project, and you're back to working on the back side. So then you do single crochet on your first stitch, inserting your hook from the back to the front under the stitch. Take your yarn to pull it back there. Then pull it through both loops. Then you start your herringbone, insert your hook under the most left bar. So you have this bar and this bar. So just use my finger here. Sometimes the hook is quite slippery. So just then you insert your hook in the next stitch from the back to the front. you have 3 loops, and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. So then you just basically continue like this. You have your 3 bars, insert your hook under the most left bar, so 1, 2, 3, the third one here, then insert in the next stitch, then pull the yarn through, and just like this you basically continue. And like I said, it's just a matter of repeating row 1 and 2 all the way until you reach the desired size of your project. So I'll continue doing this, but I'll let you go and have a practice at this stitch. Don't give up. You will see it will get easier. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button, to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the next tutorial.